Hello and welcome to Insights in Action with Orange 142, where we interview agency leaders and business owners to uncover the journeys, strategies, and insights that drive their success. At Orange 142, we're all about transforming brand stories into impactful digital experiences through innovative media and marketing solutions. And today I'm very lucky to be joined by Robin Bectel of REQ. How's it going, Robin?
It's going great, Chip. How are you today?
I am good. I'm great. Thank you so much for being on. And I'd really love to just start this off, Robin, by understanding a little bit about you, your background, and a little bit more about REQ.
Sure. So I've been in PR for all of my career since the early 90s, so a very long time, but I've gotten to see a lot of cool stuff, the dawn of the internet age, all the way up through AI today. And I just love learning new things and have always gotten really deep and hands-on understanding how my clients' technology works. And I've almost always worked in the tech space. I did a little stint in the association world, which was a lot of fun, but my heart's always been in technology. And now I'm a senior vice president at REQ, and I work with a lot of different clients and manage parts of the team and handle all of our cultural stuff that we do to build culture on the team. So really fun
Nice.
time in my career.
Yeah, for sure. And for those of in the audience who don't know, do you guys at REQ, is it PR and full stack marketing? Is it just PR? What's the thing there?
Yeah, we are full stack marketing, and we've actually been acquired by another company, Agile, and we're part of a much bigger team. So we have a lot of different agencies now within our portfolio. But the REQ team is a full stack marketing agency, so we do everything from websites and branding to design to PR, thought leadership, paid media, events, you name it.
Nice. Wow. Nice. REQ isn't just about hitting marketing metrics. You focus on helping companies achieve macro goals. How did that strategic mindset develop?
Yeah, it predated me, but so before we became part of REQ, we were actually a standalone agency called Speakerbox Public
Mhm.
Relations. And that team, who's still with us today, all of them, they started really digging in deep with a coach, a business coach, and they were very mature for a smaller agency. And I really admired this, and it's part of the reason I joined them. But they created this idea of what we call destinations and thinking that our clients come to us for one of two or three things, right? And in this case, four things. So it might be whether maybe they want to be acquired, right? Maybe they want to go public. Maybe they want to hire 100 employees over the next 2 years. What is it that is really driving their business? So not just what do they want to do in marketing, but what's happening in their business. And we found that when we had a conversation with marketing, it was usually a little more tactical, strategic about marketing, but just tactical all around marketing. But when we had the same conversation with the CEO and said, what are your plans? What's keeping you up at night? Where is your company going in the next few years? We'd get a different answer than what the marketing team would say. They would tell us these bigger things. So we realized we needed to pull back and make sure we understood that about all of our clients. What keeps you up at night? Where are things going? How are you dealing with this new trend or issue or regulation? And digging in deep so that we could put together the best PR and marketing strategy for them. And when we did that, they really responded, right? We became much more of a trusted partner, one of the big consultant companies, instead of the PR team who writes press releases and gets us new
Yeah.
deals. So it
Yeah.
really changed the game.
Yeah, that's really interesting. It's such a holistic approach to how to think about marketing. And I think so many times, even when an agency is starting out really small and they're really just trying to get clients, there's this, "Oh, okay, cool, we're going to go solve a problem for a client, and that's what we're going to do." But I think that to grow as an agency and even as a client, you need to look at your agency partner as a partner. It's not just somebody that's coming in and solving a problem. It's somebody who's really going to be there through the highs and the lows, and there will be both highs and lows.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes we found that with doing this, we will often know things before the internal employees at a client knows something about whether they're going to do an acquisition or whether the CEO is leaving. We'll know some of this stuff first, right? So we're very honored to have that trust with our clients where they reveal stuff to us in confidence so that we can help them prepare for it. And it's just a different thing. And when I talk to other people within the marketing sphere, especially if they aren't as high touch with their clients or not just given that opportunity, I find that sometimes they don't always know how their work fits into the rest of the marketing effort or the rest of the company. So if they do lead gen, all they know is about lead gen. They don't understand all these other cultural things that might be going on at the company that could be really interesting stories they could tell in marketing. All they know is their piece. I
Yeah.
do paid, and that's all there is. And so you need to be curious. Even if you're the paid expert, you need to be curious about how this ties into everything else you're doing. And I don't mean to put paid people under the bus. They're great. We just have this opportunity in PR that others don't. We have the opportunity to interact with senior executives all over the company.
Yeah.
And usually marketing people, especially with agencies, they keep that agency in a bucket. So it's
Mhm.
up to those people to push and say,
Mhm.
wait, back up. You just did your earnings. How did the company perform? How did our work help you perform, or how isn't it helping you? What did they tell investors was the big issue that they're facing? And maybe we can switch up what we're doing on the paid side to better help you address that on your side. You have to ask those kind of questions. You have to be curious to
Yeah.
understand it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that principle, being curious, because it is so, it's not just for marketing, it's really for any industry, no matter what it is. It's just the ability to be curious. I come from marketing sales specifically, training sales
Yes.
teams and stuff. And it was always the thing. You just have to be curious. It's not this, you're not selling, you're just being curious. And you're right, especially when I think more and more people are looking at marketing in this way where it's again a holistic view of earnings reports and everything, how did that do, but also your brand as a company. That's so much more than just putting an agency in a bucket, you know what I mean? You've got your internal brand, which is your culture inside, you've got your external, and it all feeds into how people work with you, you know, how potential clients work with you. If they like who you are as people, they're much more likely to work with you. And I think that a good basis for that is curiosity and empathy, right?
Yeah. Early in my career, I worked with the founders of Hotmail, and it was right after they had been sold to Microsoft, but they were still really young and scrappy and a lot of fun. And one of the stories that they told me, which I thought was fascinating, was they actually didn't go out to develop Hotmail. They were
Mhm.
actually developing this whole other product, which was actually called Java, oddly enough, but it was not Java. And they met with VCs and they told the VCs, and they were like, yeah, that's interesting, but I don't know. What else do you have?
Yeah.
And in the process of doing this, they were doing it as they had day jobs. So they were doing it at nights and weekends and stuff to create this Java product. And they wanted to communicate during work hours, but there was nothing where they could do that privately. So they created Hotmail as this really lightweight thing they could do over the internet.
Uh,
And that's how they did it. So when the VC said to them, what else do you have? He goes, we have this kind of interesting little tool we developed. And they looked at it, they said, that's going to be big. And they invested in them and they sold out to Microsoft. They had more than 40 million users, which was unheard of at the time. And it was just so funny to me that it was just this little thing that they said, we could solve this problem somehow. Oh, let's just do this lightweight tool. Nobody's ever done it. Not.
yeah.
And your sparks of inspiration can really become something huge if you
Right.
just but you probably have to throw a lot of interesting ideas out there to have one really hit. So keep trying.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
So what does it look like when PR directly contributes to something like funding, acquisition, or team growth?
It's really interesting. We love it. And it's not always easy to measure PR. I envy other parts of marketing that can say, we had these results, right? We brought you these clients, we pushed these many people through the funnel, we talked
Yeah.
to these many people at events. But for PR, it's harder. So the way it looks is we love to know if somebody's going to want to try and go get funding or go for an IPO in a few years' time. Then we have a nice long runway to say, what do we do? If you are going out and looking for investment, you need to be in front of investors, right? I can get you in the technology trade pubs all day long, but you need to be in front of Forbes, Fortune, the Wall Street Journal. That's a different program altogether. How do we do that? And how do we get you the kind of awards that get the attention of investors, like Ernst & Young's Entrepreneur of the Year, or later, if you're going to go for an IPO, the Fast 500 from Deloitte. These are things that get you in that ecosystem of investors. And we figure out how to get you there. We have connections. We do it for a lot of clients. We do it for a lot of bigger clients, and we can help young companies do that. So it's really exciting when we feel like we're part of that journey with them.
Yeah.
And it's really fun to get those kind of results that make them excited.
Yeah, for sure. And there is a direct, it's really interesting with PR because there is lots of times, yes, we work in paid media, that's what we do, but we're performance marketers. But even on the PR side, I directly remember at my last company, our CEO appeared in Forbes. And from
Yeah.
that article, like we got so many meetings out of it with prospects.
Yeah.
And it was like a direct, people were like, oh, yeah, I read about you in Forbes. And it was really
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Do you know the company Add This?
No,
They
I don't.
So all the little sharing buttons on websites were all little buttons. So Add This, there was another company called Share This, but Add This was one of the first. And they had a lot of traffic. Every time you click on one of those, you're going through their site. And so they had millions and millions of people going through their site every single day without even realizing they were doing it because they were just trying to share an article from Forbes or something. So they eventually got bought out by Oracle, but they hadn't gotten a lot of bigger media attention. And I just happened upon this opportunity with one of the morning shows, Good Morning America, I think it was. And I called, they wanted somebody who was hiring, and these guys were hiring like crazy. And they happened to be in Washington, D.C., and these guys were right outside the Beltway. And I just called them. I said, can you like can I send a crew over to do this for you today?
Uh,
And the president was like, oh my God, I just came from the gym. I'm not even ready for this. I have great faith in you. I'm going to send these guys over. And he did, and he nailed it. And he brushed his hair, the whole thing. It went off great. And they said that was like their biggest bump in traffic that they'd ever received just from getting on Good Morning America of all places. Like it didn't touch their market in any way, but the company was so excited
yeah,
about that. I don't know if it affected them getting bought out by Oracle, probably not. But at the same time, like the energy that gives to your team is
yeah,
just worth every dime. And it's just strange opportunities you find along the way.
yeah, for sure. That's really interesting. That's super cool. And it just, it's such a good case study for PR that it does work. And a lot of people, even if you don't see this direct ROI out of it, it does pay off. And it's more of one of those long game things, and a lot of times it's not.
Yeah. And just right place, right time. Don't
Yeah.
be afraid. Don't say, oh, we have so much going on. We can't do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to leap.
Yeah.
It's just worth leaping. And you're, especially in a client relationship, they always appreciate being asked, even if they have to say no because they just can't get it done in time. The
Yeah.
deadline's too short. They always appreciate that you're thinking about them,
Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
so that pays off as well, just in
Yeah,
relationship building.
definitely. Robin, this has been so great. Thank you so much for being on. Where can people learn more about you? Where can people learn more about REQ?
I am on LinkedIn, Robin Foster Bechtel, Bectel, and REQ is req.co. And I would love to talk to people. If you got questions about anything I asked about, hook me up on LinkedIn, and I'd love to chat.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be great. Cool. Thank you.
Thanks, Shiv. This was great. I really appreciate it, and good luck to you and the team over there at Orange 142.
For sure. Thanks.